Hi. Yeah. Hi, my name is Warren. Hey, teacher, you can introduce yourself.
Yeah, so my name is Ting Xuan. Then there's another guy with that's not here. He's also started with us. His name is Joshua, but yeah, he's having a class right now, so we'll
Yeah,
just
he'll
leave him.
join us later, I think. Yeah. Okay, I'll just
Yes.
continue with the slides, okay? Yeah. Okay. All right. So yeah, I'm Warren. So I'm audio on the left, and then left to right is me, Jin Xuan, and then Josh. Yeah, this photo was taken by Rice Media because we were interviewed by them. Uh, Also about like how we started the center so young and things like that. Okay. Yeah. So, okay, Jinshen, you want to go first?
Okay, sure. So little bit about us. So how we end up doing this is that we all had prior teaching experience. So we were all like doing our own home tutoring, those one-on-one tutoring where we get our clients or get our duties from like those tuition agency on telegrams and stuff like that. So uh we we had this idea in army lah, to start our tuition center as we for for us we just thought that it was a way more efficient way to teach lah, both to reach out to more students and at the same time also uh earn more money because as you know one-to-one tuition you just only cater to one tuition at a time, but then when you open a tuition center you are able to widen this customer base to like 1 to 4, 1 to 6 for example, so that is almost like 4 or 6 times more revenue. So that's why we started to brainstorm in army actually, and that's how we all start out with this the five minds. Yes, but then prior to this we all had teaching experience, and we were all kind of passionate about teaching, so we all had our own stories. But for me it just I just like to teach my in my school days. I like to teach my friends my what so that's how I even got into teaching one-to-one. And then this setting up whole tuition center business idea is all we brainstorming about how we can reach out to a wider audience. Yeah, so that's my part. Warren, you wanna
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Actually, it was just me and Jinshen. We met in army. Then yeah, we discussed about this starting a tuition center thing, and then because Josh is my best friend, so I pull him in, and because I think when starting out ventures like that, I think it's best to try to cushion the risk, and also not just that, but because actually honestly I think the risk is quite inconsequential. Like even if you fail, then there's like no big deal. Yeah. So it's not just to cushion the risk. I think more because like you face challenges along the way. To have partners to like tackle them with would be like much more effective. You won't feel like giving up halfway. Basically. So yeah, and for me, uh, I think this idea appealed to me a lot because especially Jinshan and I think we had a rather easy time in school. Not because we were very smart or anything, but I think because we are quite efficient in studying. Like the sort that like don't need to study crazy number of hours kinda. But it's like not in a braggy way, but I think because the approach to studying can be streamlined a lot than what the school tries to sell to you. Yeah. So the first step was like getting the numbers down, which is like how much is rental at what location and what location you want even to open it. So that is made very easy by apps like Property Guru. So it's like you really just download an app and then you just start browsing units. So the next step was calculating our break even. Break even, like I think y'all should know. It's like how how many clients or how much revenue you need to break even. Like yeah, we found out that it's very easy to break even because honestly the market rate for tuition is really pretty damn high in Singapore, especially with the group tuition. You multiply that by each group class, which is so it's almost impossible to run a loss in the tuition industry, in my opinion. Yeah. It's like okay. So regarding challenges and like how it's like a saturated market, we agree, but honestly that really wasn't on our mind at the time. So I'll think that like in hindsight we were quite optimistic. Jin you want to share about this part?
Yeah. So it's a lot of how you want to differentiate yourself, because yes, it's a saturated market, and yes, we actually set up our tuition center at Beauty World, which is like the prime location for a lot of tuition centers. There are like almost 20 over tuition centers in one building, and there's like 3 consecutive buildings that has a high amount of tuition centers in it. So yes, it's a saturated market, but then it's a lot of how you able to differentiate yourself. So for us, many people would think that one of our biggest challenges or weakness is that we are young tutors. Yeah, so lack of experience and stuff. But we actually uh like use that to actually differentiate ourselves to appeal to students more. Like we are more approachable. Yes, and our uh yeah, we are just able to connect better with students. So there are always ways for you to differentiate whatever business that you want to start up, even if it's in saturated market. But I agree that saturated market will be a lot. It will be harder for you to gain like a capital you gain like market share or gain like uh acquire customers, but then it's really up to how you can differentiate lah. But then of course in my opinion, the best is come up with a new kind of idea and product to like disrupt whatever market or industry that are going into. But yeah, for me, I think that it's possible lah. It's just how you wanna differentiate yourself and your business. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it's interesting actually because like I'm a tutor myself as well, and when I go on to the agencies that you all have, right, like the ones that you all found your jobs, it's really very hard to compete with like the people out there who may have who are full-time tutors, right? So you guys are part-time tutors and now you're part-time students as well, which I think is very brave, and like it's really amazing lah that you guys can achieve so much, especially in your national service.
Yeah.
Right. So I agree with you guys. Definitely the saturated market. But if you are able to kind of find a niche, right, and then market yourself as that is definitely like the right way to go. And I think you guys have a very interesting marketing approach as well, right?
Yes.
Maybe you'd like to share about that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Let me see if it's on. I think it's on the next slide. I forgot what I put on the slides. Yeah, I think it's on this one. Okay. Yeah, I think the marketing technique it was not like we started the center with the idea of okay, I'm gonna market by giving out AirPods. It was like we had the idea. We thought it was a novel idea. So then when we started and we opened, we got the keys to our unit, and then we realized that we had to acquire students. So yeah, I would say that looking from the outside, people might think like, okay, it's a bit crazy, like it's a bit crazy move, but so the idea was born out of a bit of like a desperation, like a panic, and so it was about I'll say a few weeks of trying with the conventional marketing methods like flyers, which I can tell you is absolutely useless.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Bias is useless.
flyers are useless, and
Digital marketing is very effective.
so yeah, we just decided to open an Instagram account. I mean, I think everyone should really, if you know online presence, even if it's like 100 followers. I think honestly, a lot of you can drive a lot of traffic to an account that even has like 100 followers.
Yeah,
Because if
definitely.
you're a
I
public
feel,
account
yeah.
and you have if you run a paid ad campaign, you can drive a lot of traffic. Yeah, it was quite ridiculous the traffic that we got from like airports, the marketing thing.
Yep.
So then we thought that most centers they give like a free trial, like maybe 1 to 2 classes, or like some centers give like a free trial of a month. So basically you go for 1 month without paying. So basically the center is willing to part with the first month of fees of about I would say 400 plus per student if you sign up for one subject. So that's what every center is willing to do. And this is not a business model that is very specific to the tuition industry. It is like, I'll say Netflix, like a lot of big companies also do the free trial nonsense. Not nonsense, but it's basically a bet on yourself. Like really you're telling the customer, okay, you try for free. Like I'm confident that you like it enough to continue after you try our services, and our service happens to be the tuition classes. So it's really down to us to prove to the student that, okay, we're definitely better than what's out there. So then we thought, okay, what can we do with this $400 or like $300 plus? And I think a lot of kids, they are quite obsessed with the little things in their ears, the AirPods. Yeah, even though we don't use them, but we know that that is quite
It attracts them,
yeah,
it's attractive. It was attractive to you, and you guys like tried it, you guys were adventurous enough to try it, and it paid off eventually. You guys got students, right? But can I just ask, like kind of like from your previous students, right, were you able to like get them to kind of like a word of mouth to other students as well? And your current students right now, do they tell their schoolmates as well, like, hey, I have really great tutors, and like, you know,
So I say it was like it got our first like 10 students. Then from there it was word of mouth already. Like to until now. So even we got like a few JC students, even though we haven't really started our JC tuition yet, from just word of mouth, which was like quite shocking to us. Yeah.
That's good.
So on this slide we also put like startup capital and our bottom line. I think our bottom line is really quite the cost. We run quite a lean structure. Like we only have 2 employees currently that teach for us, and startup capital was like very 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 low. It was from our savings.
Right.
What was our startup capital?
There's really not much lah. The most the for us, right, for tuition center, because it's more of our own labor, because we started off as we teach ourselves, right? So we didn't have to hire anyone. Then the notes, everything we come out with it ourselves. So that part is almost like zero cost. It's just our own time. So the most is rental and the little marketing stuff that we have to make, like coming out with the website and stuff like that. So actually the biggest part is just rental, I guess, rental,
right,
and the rental deposits.
Right, so because a lot of things you can do online, right? Like marketing, you guys are talking about digital marketing, and then like Instagram. And I read from the Rise Media that you guys used Wix as well, right, to start your own website.
Squarespace.
Or Squarespace. Yeah, so you guys didn't really have the expertise, but then you guys like kind of leveraged on these kind of platforms to like help you guys in your own goals. I think that's amazing. What I'm like kind of interested is the spot that you guys have, your actual tuition agency, right? If I'm not wrong, it's in Bukit Timah, right? Yeah. So how was it like trying to get a space like that? How do you guys have any plans to move out, expand? Like what is your
tell him the story?
Okay, so basically we look on property guru and stuff to try to find for us, right, the main concern is price, right, because we just start out and we want to have as little risk as possible. So for us it's just trying to find a good location that is near schools, but then the cheapest that we can get. So we look around and we realized that because there's a reason why there's so many tuition centers there, because it's very central to many schools. So location, we kind of think that Bukit Timah is a great idea. The other place that we thought of would be, where else the one near SJI, is it?
Tanglin CC.
Tanglin area lah, but then there is a bit more expensive. So we look at Bukit Timah area, and it wasn't Okay, so the first one that we tried, I think we negotiated too hard. Then in the end, if it didn't go through lah, in the end someone offered a higher price than to our slot. Then we were quite sad about it. But then after that, we took a while. Then we found our current spot, which is not, yeah. So generally, because the area is old, right? So actually the buildings are old, and the rentals are generally quite cheap. And also the good thing is they have a central aircon unit, so you actually don't need to pay for your own aircon or electricity bills, mainly just lights, which are quite cheap also. So we actually able to reduce our risk to quite low, because after that we did some calculation, like Warren said, the break even, right? It's actually like, I think if we hold one class, right, with like, let's say like, doesn't have to be full capacity, just one class, it can almost break even our rental and electricity. So that was what our idea lah when we first started out,
Yeah,
is to make sure
understand.
that our cost is as low as possible.
Yeah, and you guys managed to break even like really fast, right? After you guys got
Oh
your first
yeah,
few students, then
because
they
they
just
gave
keep
us
coming.
the first month
Yeah.
of rental free in
Ah,
November when
okay,
we
okay,
first started.
understand.
Yeah, so in that sense, when we at the beginning we are already making a profit, but it was quite little lah. But at least we were not losing any money from the start, because we did find like one or a few students that were able to join us. So once we opened, we were already like kind of on the right foot. Yeah.
Yep, understand.
Okay. Oh yeah. So the first big, okay, not the first, but I'll say the second, after the acquiring students challenge, the second big challenge was COVID. Yeah, I put this article on this slide because we found out that the government was going to close all tuition centers from the article. It was like not like a separate announcement. So that was actually true for like all other centers also, and like any not centers like bars also. They all found out from the news. It was like the government just came out with it on that day itself and just decided to tell everybody through the news. So yeah, we were actually at the center on that night, and then we decided to like, I mean not decided, we had no choice but to come up with like what to do for the upcoming months. So the challenge was that we had to tell parents that we were not going to cut our we're not going to like offer discounts just because it's online, because honestly we feel like these are rather grown kids, and they are not the service they receive, the lessons they receive from us, right, is not really compromised by the fact that it's online. They're facing a screen now. So that's what we had to tell parents, but they received it quite well. I mean, besides from a few exceptions. And also that the materials was actually that there wasn't a big challenge with that because we can just send it to our students, because they're like, as in they're secondary school kids, so they know how to use computer and look at the notes online. So it would have been a challenge if it was like primary school kids, because one of my friends, his mom actually owns a mind stretcher. Then she had a very very big issue with getting parents on board with the idea of switching to online. So we were quite fortunate in that aspect that we focused on secondary school.
Yeah, because they are easier to manage, right? Definitely.
Yeah.
They should have their own independence in studying as well. Yeah, which is interesting when we talk about like Zoom tuition, right? When the whole circuit breaker happened, and you guys had to like do everything online. Was there like a steep learning curve to using online platforms to teach? Or do you feel like it was like similar to using conventional classrooms? And like, were there any additional costs on top of that?
Actually, no. Actually, we saved. Honestly, COVID helped us save a lot of money. Like really, we are very very fortunate that we are able to switch to online, unlike like restaurants and all that. Yeah, so we had 4 months of rental relief, which add up to quite a significant amount of money. So whatever revenue we got, that was pure profit. There was nothing. There was no cost of printing, no cost of rental for the unit. So actually our profit margins like went a lot higher during COVID. So yeah, actually the tuition industry is quite sick in that aspect.
Yeah. Then even after we actually this COVID whole pandemic thing also let us explore about like online teaching, which actually is quite helpful in the sense where we are able to let's say like one student is not able to make it to class, and like let's say you want to give a class one-to-one with her. Sometimes we may just tell the student like, okay, let's do it online. Then we just try to cover whatever we cover in class that the student missed out. So I think this whole COVID thing let us really explore the whole online teaching way of giving classes, which was really cool. And the good thing was that we also never really lose any student through this whole COVID and switching to online classes. Yeah, but it's also I think very important on how you market yourself. So in the sense that when the whole COVID thing happened and like schools were pushing their school holidays earlier, so students suddenly have like very little opportunity to learn, and parents are still concerned about their academics, their end of year exams, and how are they gonna they won't be able to come for go to school for class and stuff like that, and like have like extra class with their teachers and stuff. So this actually help us to like uh tell their parents that okay, we know that you will be concerned that your child will be your children will be like still going for their end of year. Some is going for their O levels this year, right? So they are still it's not gonna be pushed back, right? It's gonna still be the same day, and the only thing you
Yeah.
can do is to like yeah, we are
Bring
offering
forward
this
the tuition,
yeah,
right?
we are
Yeah.
offering this online is like we are doing this service for you. So in the end it's like how you give it to the parents, and then somehow we are able to do it such that they are actually grateful for our service online and didn't like complain about it. Like it was alternative, and it helped them to continue their learning even though that this whole pandemic thing happened. And yeah,
Yeah, understand. I think you guys like showed a great deal of like flexibility, right? Not just in terms of like swapping to Zoom for classes, in terms of how you interact with the parents as well, your target audience, how you manage them, because ultimately they are the ones that are paying you guys, right? So how you
Right.
guys like manage them and like their expectations, and then like kind of give them what they need, or what you think they need lah. I think that's really something that we all can learn from. You know, like targeting what the audience wants and then like giving to
yeah,
them so they are willing to come back to you. Yeah, and that's amazing, man.
I think a
Thank
lot
you.
of soft skills involved also, not just
Definitely.
Yeah, like okay, these are okay. The age group of the parents are about like it's really like the boomer age. Really, it's like 30 plus, 40 plus. So it's like they really appreciate small things like updating how their kid is doing. So we do that. Plus, we also like if it's like Chinese New Year or Deepavali or Hari Raya, right? We will send them well wishes, depending on
very
their race.
boomer.
Yeah, so like really boomer things.
Yeah,
And
so know
and
your target audience.
correct. And I mean things that we say that we'll do, right? Then you have to commit to it. Like if we say that we're gonna invoice every month on the 23rd, then by 23rd, all the invoices have to be sent out. It's like you cannot just like what you're busy with school on that month, like particularly busy because of exams, then you don't send on the 23rd, you send on the 24th. Because if you like let one thing slip, right, like a bit of that trust is like eroded, in my opinion. So
Right.
there are some things that you just cannot like you just have to do. It's like it's not that hard. It's just
Yeah,
yeah,
just have to
you
persevere
committed to
with
it.
what you think are
Correct.
right, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So just now that you guys are sharing about the helping students out, right? Even though it's they can't really attend your lessons, I think that's really interesting. You know, like I don't think a lot of other tuition agencies do that. Kind of like finding time to teach them one on one rather than everyone sitting in for a class. And I feel like that's like one extra step. Like you guys went the extra mile for them, for your students. Like you really take care of them, so like they can really feel it as well. I think that's another like selling point of that you guys have lah. The care and the extra mile that you guys go for your students, compared to other agencies.
Yeah, I
Mm,
agree. Plus, a lot of agencies, I think they're paying their tutors like like set their salaries. So to ask them to come down and like teach another 2 hours, they might not be willing, or they might find it like it's a difficult conversation to have.
Right.
So in the aspect that we're young in the industry, it benefits us like tremendously.
Yeah, it does. And we try to differentiate ourselves by building a good relationship with our students. So even before the pandemic happened, we actually have we held like outings with our students. Like we went to Warren's house function room to like have the Fine Mind Center a dinner together where we just play games and have food, that kind of thing. So it's really not very conventional. Like your tutors won't like hold outing for a whole tuition center. Then you all can have fun, and like they just like can make friends also like inside the center they get to know each other, and so that they can build their like in class they also not so quiet or awkward with each other, that kind of thing.
So it's like a kind of like a community thing, right? There's this like idea of friends and people can always fall on each other.
That's
right?
why
And like
there's
people
also
will
a
be
bit of
excited to come.
the loyalty also behind it.
Definitely. Yeah.
And like after school or let's go to tuition together kind of thing.
Sounds
Yeah.
nice. Yeah.
So yeah, regarding plans down the road, I think you asked this earlier, but we didn't get to answering that part of the question. Like the thing we are tied down to is the lease that we signed. So we are actually we have to honor the lease until the end of next year, which is end of 2021. Then we're actually looking for like a larger unit, because really scheduling for classes, right, with conflicting schedules in a single classroom is actually very, very difficult. So yeah, that's a very big challenge, honestly. Scheduling with so many conflicting schedules and CCAs is it's quite a big challenge. So hopefully we can move to a bigger unit that's nearby. Yeah, actually we found a building already, but yeah, so we just have to honor the lease for now.
Yep, understand. And actually, now since the pandemic, right, a lot of like vacancies should be kind of empty, right? So it's kind of like to your benefit as well. Where it's easier for you guys to find bigger units for perhaps cheaper prices. I'm not very sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely we wish you all the best in trying to expand for your students and for you guys. Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Jin-Shen, you want to start with this?
Okay, you can go first.
Okay, yeah. So regarding advice for aspiring entrepreneurs, I would say, okay, because I started this when I was really like straight out of NS, like legit straight out of NS. So that's 20 years old, and I was doing a job that like I'll say the average age is like 30 something at least. So I'll say don't have imposter syndrome in whatever you do because honestly, really, if you call a teacher out, right, and you say like, I don't know, I'll think a lot of my teachers weren't actually that bright, but because of the age gap, I had the respect for them. But honestly, I feel like teachers can be called out on because like if you look back now, there are a lot of things that I'm not sure about you all, but the JC I come from, it was Hwa Chong, but I still think that a lot of the teachers were not very competent. So like they will say like, okay, my point is that okay, because of the age gap, right, like the fact that they're so old, I would think that they'll have a bit of inadequacies also, because like they've not been, like, seriously, how long has it been since they were a student? Like what makes you so confident
Right,
that you
they
can
lost touch
trust?
already, right?
Yeah, like you have lost touch.
Yeah.
So why are you so confident that you can transmit these skills to me? And you're the teacher of one subject, so I have to do 4 subjects. It's like, so the
Compounded,
fact that
yeah.
correct, the fact that we are teaching as such young students, as people who are just straight out of the system, I would think that gives us a way bigger advantage, because we have proven that we are able to juggle all 4 subjects and do like very well. And we've been through the system, so really we you can trust whatever we say. And so I might have struggled a bit with the imposter syndrome thing at the start. Like, oh shit, I actually have to teach a class. I was actually quite nervous before the start of each class last time. So yeah, I think the same can be said for Josh. I'm not sure about Jinshan, but yeah, I was nervous. So yeah, I would say don't struggle with that.
Yeah.
Understand.
So for aspiring entrepreneurs, right, my advice is that if you have a passion for entrepreneurship, right, just start young, because that is when you can take on the most risk, really. What do you have to lose, right? And also do something that you are passionate about. So that because in our case we were passionate about teaching, right? So if you are not passionate about teaching, it's okay. If you're passionate about digital marketing or whatever that you're passionate about, then go and explore that area rather than try to fit into to something that you see like the street has the most success in. Let's say you look at us, then we started tuition center, then like, oh, you want to start tuition center because you want to follow, but then you don't have the passion in it. Then I think that's just wrong, because why we can make it to where we are now is because we had the initial passion and we are able to. Oh, because if you don't have the passion, if we didn't have the passion to teach, right, we wouldn't even be here in the first place. We had give up long time ago when like when we faced our first challenge, or maybe like when we couldn't find students, we just like, oh, okay, actually I think this is not it's not the best idea. Let's stop this. But if because we have the passion, right, we are able to just continue and like break through whatever challenges we have. So find whatever that you're passionate about and work with that, and just don't keep procrastinating. That's
Yeah.
my point of view. Just start as young as possible.
I understand. Yeah. So definitely like find what you're good at, find what you're passionate at, and then like don't settle for anything less, right? Always do what you think is correct. Like for you guys also like when you guys your work ethics lah, like the invoices that you guys shared, that's also one of the things that I think I myself believe in. If you really believe in that, then you should always persevere to it. Don't give in, and hopefully one day if you hustle enough, you're gonna get it lah. Which you guys have already. Yeah, and it's amazing to see like people my age like at where you guys are finding like something that they love to do, making something out of themselves lah. And then like even benefiting future students. I totally understand when you say that some teachers are not very competent. I think even in higher levels is the same thing lah.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah,
yeah,
yes,
yeah.
uni is the worst, legit.
I cannot say anything about that, but so yeah, so like so personally for me, so when I have any issues, right, I'll go to my TA, which is like closer to my age rather than the
Right.
prof, right? Yeah, so because
yes.
they are much more relatable, they really understand where you're struggling with. You guys managed to like spot this like problem in the market, and you guys like that's why you guys came in. You guys like created this tuition center, and then especially like your background as well. I think it really helped you guys to promote yourself as I think
Correct.
right, so teaching scholars teaching, right, other students, yeah, so I think it's interesting, not just because you guys are only looking out for yourself, because you guys are looking out for the students as well, which I honestly think that it's very hard to find outside nowadays. Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's I think that's one of the key points as to your successes, like one of the many.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if there's another one that I would like to point out, is also
Mm.
about differentiating whatever that you have to offer, and offer something that is really just unconventional, different from what the street has to offer, because then that is when you can make whatever customers that are in that market to switch to whatever you
Bye,
are
guys.
providing, because people won't want to change, right? If let's say you enter the industry, why would people have incentive to change to whatever you have to offer unless you give some people something different or something better in that sense? So sometimes it's how you differentiate whatever, even though it can be very close, but you just try to tweak it a bit such that it gives something more
It value
different, more
adds, right?
exciting. Yeah.
Right, value adding to like whatever is out there right now. I think that's also another skill that we have to kind of like look out for, right? When we see like certain industries, and then like we have to kind of think about like how we can value add to the industry, what our product can value add, rather than just having another product that's like on the rest lah. And I think it's interesting what you guys have shared. Yeah, yeah. Why are you busy now?
Hi, this is Josh.
Oh,
Hello.
oh, that's Joe. Yeah, hello, hello.
I'm
Right,
so
so,
sorry. I was in a class just now.
Right. So
Yeah.
Joshua is actually
Yeah,
he's actually the third
guy.
co-founder, other
Yes.
from Xinxuan and Warren. Yeah. So would you like to kind of like share a bit of the experience as well?
on the you just share on this side.
Yeah,
Oh,
the
okay.
some yeah some yeah tips
Okay,
for
so
aspiring entrepreneurs. Yeah.
okay, so for myself, I think if I were to talk to aspiring entrepreneurs, actually, what I would like to share the most is don't be scared to take risks. I think uh, when I was first proposed the idea by Warren, I think he shared the background. Um, I was quite scared and apprehensive because I wasn't sure if this was something I would want to do, something that is really like it felt very different from the path I had originally like envisioned myself to take. Like, a very standard path. Like when I'm done with army, I'll go find an internship. I'll study hard in uni, maybe find a good job after that. But then this was something very different from that, and I was scared initially because when you start up your own business, there's a lot of risk and there's a lot of uncertainties that you cannot measure. So which is why people like they may be apprehensive and they may not know, should I be doing this? But I feel like this is not, if you have an idea and it is something you're passionate about, then you should definitely go for it. Because if not now, then when? Like if you're always asking yourself, oh, there's at this point of my life, there's this form of uncertainty. Let me put it on hold, and then maybe I'll revisit the idea a few years down the road. But then maybe a few years down the road, you may have certain other uncertainties. Why? Yeah, certain other uncertainties that may stop you, and so it will just keep snowballing. So it must come to that point where you tell yourself, okay, just try it out, and if it really doesn't work out, then so be it. Learn from what has happened. If not, then I believe that
Take it as a learning mistake, lah. Yeah.
yes.
I fully I agree with what you said. I think I just to kind of like start on the just to kind of like ask, right? I know one of your parents were apprehensive as well, right? Like how do you kind of manage? Yeah. So how do you manage like your parents' expectations, especially if they also have this like expectation that you're going to like have this certain route that you're gonna take, and then you deviate from it. Yeah.
Okay, so I think a bit of why my parents was so against it, because I think they have actually firsthand seen the consequences of a failed business. On my mom's side, I think my grandfather actually, he had ventured into a business himself and it didn't turn out so well. And so my mom at that time, like I guess from the experiences now she has seen, and then I'm proposing this idea to her. She was quite scared because uh, things can go really not as expected, and But then so I really had to show her that like this is a calculated move. Like this is not something that, because the idea sounds nice and then I'm just going into it because it's something different. So like we actually planned, when we had the idea, we actually planned it out and we made sure that it was a solid idea that I could actually present to her. Like, this is what we're gonna do, what we have considered, etc. And then after that, then I guess she kind of bought into the idea. She was still a bit apprehensive, like, but then I also like wanted her to know, like, this is something I want to try out. I'm not just doing it because it is for fun and all, but teaching is something that I really like and something I really wanted to explore. And then I guess she saw it and she gave me her support, and she has been supportive all the way since then.
Warren, you can say go on the story.
What's my stuff? Oh wait, no, I'm not gonna say it.
Warren has story as well.
Calculate all the cost for your mom.
Oh, that story. Okay. Okay. Yeah, basically I talked to my mom in a mathematical terms. Like I didn't really ask for permission. I was really just informing her. And I would say like building on the point that Josh made, take a calculated risk. Because I think we were very lucky because of that we're in the tuition industry and the margins are really like properly set. Like as opposed to you want to start a tuition a restaurant like F&B, a business, right? Wow, they aren't really damn thin, the margins.
Yeah, correct.
So I would say pursue an idea, don't pursue like a half-baked idea, really. Like I watched a video about this guy in Singapore that opened this restaurant in Somerset, I think. It's quite good though. I saw the reviews, but he's running a loss of $2.2 million, and that really made me shit bricks because I'll be damn panicked right at that point. Yeah. So yeah lah, because in the end, right, at the end of the day, right, it's a business. So it'll be best if there's like some positive reinforcement that like it rewards you financially and that you're in a healthy state of mind to try to grow it. Because honestly, the guy said like he's suffering from depression and all that shit. So even though the food is damn nice, right? Yeah, I'll say
quite hard to survive lah.
Yeah, pursue a good idea with good margins. Yeah.
I think that's like kind of like what you guys did really well, right? You guys like really calculated like the risk, like how much you're going to break even, and then those were very well done actually. Because like I kind of have some experiences, and financing is actually one of the hardest things to do in a business. Like trying to write out what you need, and then trying to find capital for it as well, and then like especially if you want to use this to like kind of like convince someone else to help you out, right? Like so like if you guys like maybe for some people it's like for investors, for you guys it's for your parents, right? You guys are the show your parents, you get to prove it to them that this is gonna work. So like I feel like this is another skill that it's really important to hone and then kind of like understand so we can kind of see like the feasibility of the business as well, rather than thinking like, oh yeah, it's quite it's quite a multi-million like industry and they're just jumping into it. So I think you guys like really made the right like call and then like really calculated the risk and it paid off lah. Yeah.
Yep, that's right actually. Yeah. Oh, I didn't put anything on the last slide except thank you. But yeah, if you have any questions, you can ask us.
Right. Okay. So we'll be opening the floor to questions. You guys can just type into the chat. Any questions you guys for the three co-founders regarding their experiences of entrepreneurship will be super welcome. But kind of right. So I feel like what's like special for entrepreneurs as well is like having this group of friends that are like-minded, right? Like you guys like I look at you, Shui, and you guys are really close and you guys can you guys really went through this together instead of just like there's this bond that really cannot be bought for co-founders, right? Like it'll be very hard for you guys to start up, do a business together if there's no trust between co-founders as well. So I think that's really important from the point of like starting up, so to surround yourself with people that are like-minded, to have people that believe in what you believe in, and then like going to the same goal. Yep.
Yeah, we agree. The choosing of co-founders is very important actually. And yeah, don't do it solo whatever it is. I think it's a bad idea. Yeah.
And also like
if you're Mark Zuckerberg,
yeah.
Right. Okay. Like to kind of like question like just ask a little bit more. Are you guys like will you guys be like employing more people so that you all can expand to greater heights, or are you guys just thinking like, yeah, we should just keep it at like 3-4 tutors and we'll see how it goes?
how many have we hired? I'll say that next year I think we'll make 3 hires only. Yeah, so still very trim. We're still keeping it very trim and I think even if you're very very big, you should keep it very as trim as possible. So that's 3 on top of us, so that's 6 That's honestly I think already more than enough.
But that is for one center lah. So of course expansion is also something that we will be considering and will be exploring, but it's still nothing concrete yet. But if like we also will be exploring the idea of expansion, but that comes with the we will have to make sure that everything is more well organized. Like now we are teaching with our own notes, our own materials and stuff. So if we want to expand further, everything will have to be streamlined to like very standard stuff. And like we also not sure if that's something that we want to do lah to our tuition branding, because now our tuition branding is very it's like very has a
small
personal
and it's
touch to
very
it. Yeah. So
quite hard to I understand it's like quite hard to employ people who like have the same passion you guys, right? And the same approach.
That's the
yeah. So we have a question from the audience. How do you balance work and study? I think this is a very apt question, especially since I think most of you guys are scholars plus double degree holder, like if I'm not wrong. So yeah, so I think interesting question. Yeah.
Okay, so I think I can take this question. How do you balance work and study? I guess it really comes down to how well you manage your time. As much as we we know that we have already our allocated class schedules, and we know how many hours a week that we are working. And of course, it's something that we have all agreed, like as much as we are committed to teaching, we should not compromise on our studies. So I guess when you think about how much free time you have, you kind of have to like know that some of this free time is gonna go to your work, and then the remaining would be okay. Like you can have some time for yourself, but you must make sure that, or at least how I do is I make sure that I always allocate enough time to do work. Like, so I will always prioritize my work, like schoolwork, over like
Personal time.
Yeah, personal time and all. But of course, if you were to focus too much on just work and study, right, there's a very high chance you burn out very fast. So even though the schoolwork and all is a priority, you must give yourself some personal time to relax. And yeah, so I feel like,
so you don't get too stressed out.
Right? Do you do that? Yes, of course.
How about Warren, since it's nothing so like happily? How do you manage it?
No, he doesn't do that. He
He doesn't.
He has no personal time. Yes.
Okay. Maybe
he's a workaholic. Since like sec one, honestly, he's crazy.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah. I think it's really up to time management. If you want to do something, right, you want to fit it in, there's definitely time. You can do it. You can just, for me, I struggled when I first started. It wasn't easy. And I like get myself too caught up with like my studies and tuition, and I a bit lost out of my own personal time. But after all, I managed my time, and I've had success because it's about how you make use of your time and make sure that you get efficient work done in that amount of time that you have. So now, even though that I don't think I am doing a lot of studying, but then I make sure that every time I study, I am efficient in that sense. Then whenever I am like preparing for my tuition class or like I'm teaching, it's also productive. So productivity is how you can fit more things into your to your day without really like
right. So like
time for
even
stuff.
so you also have your like what Josh says, you also have your own alone time, right? You also like have some like time allocated to like just relaxing and
correct.
I hope
I do spend a lot of like because I got my own commitments in school, CCA.
Okay.
Then like I will go on dates with my girlfriend, then I do work and study. So yeah, it's really, I feel balance is important now. Balance.
Right. Definitely. Okay. Does anyone has any other questions from the floor? Right. So I think this has been a really interesting sharing, right? And I hope that like it has really inspired some people here that have come to the sharing lah. Definitely because like you guys have so much to share. It's really interesting like how much like you guys like came together, right? Like-minded people came together, and then you guys understood what the market needed, and then you guys like just implemented this implemented this in the market to like value add to the industry, and that itself is your business model in value adding to the students, and then like really being relatable to the students, right? And yeah, and even though like I understand like explaining might not be in your picture right now, I still do hope that you guys get more students, because I honestly think that finding good teachers is really damn hard. And honestly, I agree with you guys when you guys say that there are more efficient way of studying. Yeah, I totally agree, and I believe in whatever you guys have lah. Right. And is it possible if like I kind of request for a photo with you guys? If
Yeah, sure.
Sure.
yeah,
No
if the audiences want to on their camera, I'm okay with it as well. Right. Okay.
Hey, look at the camera.
Oh wait, sorry, I was looking at.
Right. Give me a second.
Where's Inshan?
Okay. I have to change it into the other view.
Damn it, I want to see this guy.
Right. Oh, give me like 1 minute. Let me figure this out. I'm sorry.
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Yeah, my bad.
Can message, right?
Okay.
I can ask.
Okay, come. I'm ready. Let's
All right.
Okay, right. Come. 3, 2, 1. Then we smile. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Smile. Right. Right. I hope that honestly this sharing has been beneficial for like the rest of the people who joined in. Thank you so much for your time as well. In coming in to share. I know you guys are busy and like we're kind of taking up your like personal time.
Hey, no worries, no worries.
Yeah. And I think if you guys would like you guys can be part of we have future events because at Eagles we are like a student-led entrepreneurship club, right? And for future events if you guys like we can always like invite you guys over as well, so you guys can kind of talk to other people in the perhaps other industries that might be able to help you guys for networking sessions and all.
Alright,
Yeah,
sure.
really thank you guys for your sharing. It's really been helpful for us at the SMU community, and we wish you all the best, more students and
All the best.
Man, thank you. All the
Thank
best.
you.
thank you.
I need